He can't win. He can't win. And I can't lose.
3 years ago, he prepared like a champion, and I can't knock him for that. He went out there, he prepared for a champion, but this time, I prepared like a champion, a true champion. And you will see.
Welcome to Old Trafford. It's been a beautiful autumn day here in Manchester, and now it's clear, dry and cool for Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank on their Judgment Day. The pictures from the dressing room. Nigel Benn in the referee's room, in fact, just below me, with his trainer, Jimmy Tibbs. And meantime, in the Manchester United home dressing room, Chris Eubank, unbeaten, tapes up and prepares to go to work. Good evening to you all. We waited nearly 3 years for this fight, and now the talking is just about over and it's right around the corner. It's very hard for me really to put across the atmosphere we have here at Old Trafford tonight. It is absolutely exceptional. Over 40,000 people inside the stadium. They've paid over £2 million for the privilege of being here on a great sporting night. This time last night in Manchester, it was pouring. We had thunder, we had lightning, we had the lot. Tonight, it's cool and it's very clear, around about 50 degrees the temperature out there. Tremendous sporting occasion. I'm delighted to have some heavyweight assistants up here in the studio as well with Lennox Lewis. Lennox, welcome. You watched that Best of Enemies programme with great interest, didn't you? And you feel that the mental battle between these two is going to be absolutely crucial.
It has to be really crucial. Not only the physical, the fact of getting into shape, but the mental is very important.
What about fighting in the open air? You had to do it in Cardiff last week, a bit later on. It was 1 in the morning. Is that a factor we should consider?
It is a factor because on the way coming in, I was freezing, and I know if you're not used to it, and it depends on each boxer and how it affects them.
We'll talk more later on, but looking at these two characters, Ben and Eubank, totally different. They're both very good fighters. They're both world champions, but really the similarities end. When they get together, inside or outside the ring, it's an absolutely lethal cocktail. It really is potent, and the old flames really fire up. Around about 50 degrees the temperature out there. Tremendous sporting occasion. I'm delighted to have some heavyweight assistants up here in the studio as well with Lennox Lewis. Lennox, welcome. You watched that Best of Enemies programme with great interest, didn't you? And you feel that the mental battle between these two is going to be absolutely crucial.
It has to be really crucial. Not only the physical, the fact of getting into shape, but the mental is very important.
What about fighting in the open air? You had to do it in Cardiff last week, a bit later on. It was 1 in the morning. Is that a factor we should consider?
It is a factor because on the way coming in, I was freezing, and I know if you're not used to it, and it depends on each boxer and how it affects them.
We'll talk more later on, but looking at these two characters, Ben and Eubank, totally different. They're both very good fighters. They're both world champions, but really the similarities end. When they get together, inside or outside the ring, it's an absolutely lethal cocktail. It really is potent, and the old flames really fire up.
There's so much scum in boxing, I'm sorry to say. But that's the way you got to be. You got to be, it's like dog eat dog. You can't be being Mr. Nice Guy in boxing.
If you're going to dislike me for the right reasons. And there are no right reasons for disliking Chris Eubank as far as I'm concerned. I'm quite a good guy.
I do detest him, I really do. It's no joke, you know. I can't stand him.
Nigel, you're not the man you've portrayed yourself to be. I've always said you was a fraud. But I don't mean to be impolite.
London, but Eubanks ultimately has the style to beat him, plus he's beaten him already, so it really depends on each one's preparation, who really wants it the most.
But you're going for Ben the outsider?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what the thinking is down at ringside, and our man down there covering all the action at ringside on this very big night is Gary Newbank.
Yes, Jim, and a lot of big boxing names down here, but pride of place to Frank Bruno. Now you've gone for world title 3 times, you've been stopped. So the big question now, you've had a week to chill out. Are you going to carry on, or are you going to retire?
I'm not too sure, Gary. I'm going to chill out a little bit more.
You must have thought about it.
You can't make it over in a week's time, and I've been boxing about 11 years now. You're going to finish boxing the week, so I'll let you know exclusively a couple of months' time, son.
Your secret is safe with me, you know.
After Christmas.
Okay, now, don't sit on the fence now. Is it Eubank or Ben? It's got to be one of them, and why?
It's got to be Ben early or Eubanks later on, because Nigel's a very, very dangerous guy earlier on, and Eubanks is a slippery, good boxer, you know what I mean, and he's like a fox, you know, so I've got to go for Ben early or Eubanks later on.
Barry McGuigan, who are you going for and why?
Well, I'll tell you what, I originally thought if they could stick to their tactics that it would be either Ben in the early rounds or Eubanks in the late rounds, like Frank. I think tactics are going to go out the window. Too much pride at stake, 40,000 people here. It's got to be Eubank, and it's got to be 6 or 7 rounds. He's got a better chin. I'm saying 6 or 7 rounds Eubank.
Right, Don King.
Yes.
Wonderful atmosphere here.
It's a great atmosphere, Gary. This is a fantastic evening here at Trafford Stadium in Manchester. I love Manchester, and I see that Manchester has responded tremendously. And this is exclusive on ITV, and the voice of boxing, I'm talking to Gary Newborn. And I'm just delighted to say that Michael Nunn is anxious to challenge whoever the victor be tonight. But the fans will be the real winner here on ITV and right here in Trafford Stadium.
Right, now, Michael Nunn, WBA super middleweight champion of the world. You meet the winner. I know you don't care who the winner's going to be, but I want to know from you who you think it's going to be.
Well, like I said before, I don't know who's going to win. The best man's going to win. I'm just looking forward to fighting him, and I like to say hello to everybody here in the UK. I mean, they've been great. I'm just looking forward to coming here to fight in front of these great fans.
Do you think if Eubank wins, he'll go through with this and meet you?
Well, I hope he does. You know, I hope that I can get a signed agreement stating that he's going to fight me. And I mean, that's what boxing's all about, the best fighting the best. And let's put it together and let's do this.
Okay, Michael, let's go to John McCrick about the betting. Now, first of all, John, there must have been good odds about the weather. We thought it was going to rain, but it's lovely here now.
When outsiders turned up, no rain in Manchester, but this is Britain's biggest betting fight ever. Over £2 million is reckoned to be staked, and 3 years ago when they were betting, Ben was odds on. Now it's odds on Eubank. 15-8 on, they're saying Eubank. Earroll 6-4 against Ben. Double carpet 33-1 against the draw. But if you reckon the Dark Destroyer is going to flatten Eubank in the first round, 50-1 you can get. But if the Simply the Best is going to prove it once again in the 9th, it's a 40-1 chance. It's odds against the fight going the distance if it does. 7-2 Eubank to win on point, 6-1 Ben. But now Judgment Day's turn into Judgment Night. If you've had a bet, you're in the ring. You're ducking, you're weaving, you're punching the blows, blow by blow, punch for punch. And I can tell you one thing, it's not just the fighters who are going to suffer in there tonight.
Well, what about that? John McCrick, Jim, or Don King? What a double act.
This is fantastic.
Yeah, that is some match going on down there. Of course, every day's fancy dress day for John McCrick, isn't it? But massive interest. I reckon there must be about 16 or 17 million of you out there waiting to see the outcome. 1 or 2 people hedging their bets down there. It is split right down the middle. It'll be very interesting to see the support that both fighters get when they emerge in round about 4 or 5 minutes' time. I'll tell you what, though, the weigh-in at the Crown Plaza Hotel in the centre of Manchester last night was absolutely chaotic, even by boxing standards. But Eubank came in right on the limit. He always does that, bang on 12 stone. It was a packed room, and Nigel Benn, even with the hat and a bit of heavy jewellery around the neck, was just 1 pound lighter at 11.13 at last night's weigh-in. And now just a little word with you, Lennox, on that. They weighed in last night. Now, my feeling is that Chris Eubank will be up around 13 stone now. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, you definitely need some weight going into a long battle, because you realise that that's what you're going to be working off. So it's good to have a good weight on when you're going through a big fight.
Do you see this, though, as a crucial factor in the fight? The fact that Nigel Benn has to move up to make the weight, and Chris Eubank has to come down and then zooms up once he's made it?
I think in the later rounds it should show, you know, which affected you most.
Right. Well, just looking at that now, there's not really much between them. Eubank probably in his fighting prime at 27, but of course Ben, a terrific amount left, and a terrific puncher. We must never forget really what a devastating puncher Nigel Benn is. And words, of course, that Nigel Benn might be a little bit chinny. Well, he hasn't gone down for something like 3.5 years, so it'd be very interesting to see if Chris Eubank manages to change that tonight. Well, tremendous out there. Both fighters are very nearly ready to come out and join the massive crowd, and there are the shots of them inside the dressing rooms once more. It's going to be very important for them to get warm. Nigel Benn has been very secretive. Chris Eubank has done all the publicity stuff. Is he going to be mentally strong enough to retain his unbeaten record and to take Nigel Benn's WBC title? We shall find out. We'll be back with the action from Old Trafford very shortly. Welcome back to Old Trafford, a beautiful night, and Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn are now all set to enter the Old Trafford arena. Let me just tell you about the titles at stake here. Of course, Nigel Benn is the WBC champion, Nigel Benn. Those are the rules, the most important rules that are going to be applied tonight. No 3 knockdown rule in effect here. No standing count as well. The various boxing bodies have slightly different rules. A mandatory 8 count, so if a fighter goes down, it means he definitely gets a count to at least 8, and the bell can only save a fighter in the last round. So the referee, the British referee Larry O'Connell, will continue counting except in the last round. And the titles that are at stake here, the WBC champion is Nigel Benn. Of course, his title is up for grabs. Chris Eubank is the WBO title, and late today it has been decided that Eubank's WBO title is on the line as well. They're all set to go. Let's join our MC. He is Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare to welcome, making his way to the ring, the WBO super middleweight champion of the world, known as simply the best, Chris Eubank.
Well, Chris Eubank emerges looking very, very relaxed, flanked by promoter Barry Hearn. It's a long, long walk from the new home Manchester United dressing room all the way up the side of the pitch and across to the ring, smack in the centre circle here at Old Trafford, or Trafford Park as Don King loves to call it. This a supreme test really for Eubank, who has admitted he's only done just enough to win in recent fights. He said after the last fight he wouldn't want to go through anything like that again. That was 3 years ago. And now he prepares to do battle with the Dark Destroyer once more. Well, waiting at ringside, as always, are your big fight commentators. Expert analysis from Jim Watt. And first of all, let's say a very good evening to the maestro, to Reg Guttridge.
So there he is then, coming out into the main arena to be seen for the first time now. So pull up your ringside seat with us here at Old Trafford. It's choking excitement. About 41,000 people here. Jim Watt and I have seen a few in our time, but I tell you, the atmosphere here, Jim, takes some beating. The first biggie at Old Trafford.
Yeah, I've been to a few open-air shows, Reg, but I've never seen or heard anything like this. The atmosphere is really tremendous.
So this fella now, he's worked out in the warm-up room where the footballers warm up there, and well, as you can see, he's already sweating heavily. And of course, for him, it's got to be a designer sweat, that's for sure. Now, is he going to do the vault over the ropes or not? There's some talk that he just might not do it on this occasion. This is what the Americans, a buzzword for them is focus, and that's what he's doing now. Now, let's see if he's going to do it or not. Yes, I'm sure he will. Now, he did this before he even appeared on television, so although he calls it a bit of an act, he was doing it from the start as well. Absolutely loved it. There it is. The ego has landed. Absolute chilling confidence, Jim, really, isn't he, Eubank?
Yeah, it really excites himself up, Reg. His life might be one big act, but I think he's beginning to believe it, and he's never been beaten, so until he's beaten, he can keep calling himself simply the best.
Absolutely.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, making his way into the ring, the WBC Super Middleweight Champion of the World, the Dirt Destroyer, Nigel Benn.
So while those chimes were happening there for Ben, Eubank was spinning round in the ring, twisting, turning. It looks as though he's doing a bit of ducking and diving, but this fellow is equally as confident. I thought that their condition at the weigh-in ceremony was tremendous. And remember, they've moved up from the middleweight division now to super middleweight, so that's 6 pounds different from when they fought before. 12 stone at Eubank. 8 pounds difference, I should say. Well, I must have got 2 off while we were watching the heat with this show, Jim. 12 stone exactly, Eubank. It really is incredible. For the 8th time, he gets it right down to the last ounce. The wizard of the odds here, isn't he? 11-13 Ben, who some may consider a really genuine middleweight rather than the full super middleweight. Both championships, as Jim Rosenthal was saying, are now on the line. It's possible, well, you never know, we may never see champions again holding 2 versions fighting in a British ring. Michael Nunn, the WBA champion, is already in the ring, has shaken hands with Chris Eubank and dying to meet the winner. So the Dark Destroyer then, I don't think he really needs too much protection, do you? And a little bit of window dressing, isn't it, with all the security. But on the other hand, you can see for yourself, though, it's really packed, this crowd. He's in a much brighter mood than he's been in the build-up to the fight, Ben. He's actually enjoying this, I suspect, Jim. Well, how are the nerves when you're coming down the aisle like that?
Well, I'd like to see Ben just a little bit more focused, Reg. He's got too many smiles for people. I mean, this is the biggest night of his career. But look at this, you think this was after the fight, making his way back to the dressing room. I'd like to, at least Eubank is totally focused. I'd like to see Ben the same way. I mean, the nerves should really be making, you should be thinking about one thing and one thing only, but Ben seems to be smiling at everybody and actually in a good mood.
Well, I suppose, Jim, if you're getting $1 million, you've got to be in a good mood. And remember that poor old Eubank's only getting $850,000. He didn't mind taking the shorter end, but he wanted to get the fight on. And remember, all right, it sounds a lot for one night's work. Well, we all know that, but it's years of preparation, taking punishment, doing everything the hard way. They deserve every penny they can earn, these fellas, in the fight game. The underdog from a betting point of view, then.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to rise for the playing of the national anthem. Please welcome to the center of the ring to lead us the internationally acclaimed violin virtuoso, the one and only Nigel Kennedy.
Is that he's a rabid Aston Villa fan.
Ladies and gentlemen in attendance, boxing fans joining us across the UK on the ITV Sports Network, and sports fans joining us around the world, we welcome you to the home of the legendary football club and reigning English champions, the Old Trafford Stadium in Manchester, England. It is time for Judgment Day, the main event of the evening, brought to you by Barry Hearn and Matchroom Boxing in association with Don King Productions, along with the Sports Network, and sponsored by the Daily Mirror. This bout is sanctioned by the World Boxing Council and conducted under its rules. The President, Jose Sulaiman, Supervisor Ray Clark, along with the World Boxing Organization at ringside, Executive Secretary Mark Schechner, in conjunction with the British Boxing Board of Control, the steward in charge, Tom Pendry, MP. Introducing the physicians at ringside as appointed, Dr. Graham Stead, Dr. David Sim. Timekeeper at the bell, Frank Capewell. Introducing the judges for this title bout, Carol Castellano, Harry Gibbs, and Chuck Hassett. Introducing to you the referee in charge. He will be giving instructions after the introductions, Larry O'Connell. All right, fans, here we go with the main event of the evening, the rematch you've all been waiting for. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, it's showtime! The WBC and WBO Super Middleweight Championship of the World, scheduled for 12 rounds of boxing. Introducing to you first on my left, fighting out of the red corner, he is wearing solid yellow trunks and fighting out of Brighton, England. His weight, an even 12 stone or 168 pounds. His outstanding record includes 35 wins, no losses, 1 draw, with 18 wins coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the colorful former WBO middleweight and current WBO super middleweight champion of the world, known as simply the best, introducing the undefeated Chris Eubank. And his opponent across the ring on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. He enters the ring wearing white trunks with blue trim, and he hails from Beckingham, Kent, by way of Ilford. He weighed in at a ready 11 stone, 13 pounds, or 167 pounds. His tremendous record includes 37 wins, only 2 losses, with an impressive 32 wins coming by way of knockout. He is the former WBO middleweight world champion and current WBC super middleweight champion of the world. Tonight making his 4th defense of his title, please welcome the hard-hitting champion known as the Gut Destroyer, introducing Nigel Benn. Once again, the referee in charge, now to give instructions, Larry O'Connell.
Well, there it is, all the talking's done now, and a rundown by Larry O'Connell, amateur international in his time, remembering very well the Fitzroy Lodge Club in London. So there's millions of viewers now being seen around the world, and Showtime in USA are taking this.
Come out, fight at the bell, may the best man win.
Well, there it is now. It's the red alert time, Jim. I'm glad it's got normal cornermen here, because Eubank, with the jodhpurs and the monocle and the build-up this week, I thought maybe Jeeves would appear in his corner. It looked a bit like Bertie Wooster at times. Well, there's the focusing, Jim, that you were talking about there. Now, if the fight is half as good as the last time, 3 years ago in Birmingham, and having the close-shaved haircut for the first time now. Well, I don't know whether it helped him to slip punches a little bit. Remember, both world champions.
I think from their first meeting, Reg, Eubank is the one who's been doing most of the improving. I don't think Ben's really got any better at all. But Eubank now has the confidence of being a champion, and he started far more positively than I would have expected.
Condition's tremendous, Jim, isn't it? That extra poundage that they put on since the last time, they've carried it well.
Well, especially Eubank. I think that's going to have a big bearing on what happens tonight. Eubank will be closer to 13 stone here. Ben will just be around about the 12.
Yeah, remember,
it's so much bigger and stronger.
Jim, it's 28 hours now since the weigh-in. I know you don't particularly agree with that the day before. It's a medical rule to stop them dehydrating to make weight.
See, Ben's attitude just seemed a little bit casual as he came into the ring, smiling and bobbing about. Not as though he was coming to do battle.
A little ticking off there for Eubank, being hit on the break. The referee was pulling him apart. He didn't announce break, of course, but it was a bit obvious. Looks as though Ben's trying to go looking for him more, isn't he? Trying to, well, not cut the ring size down, Jim, but to stop Eubank going walkabout.
Well, Ben has to come forward, Reg, to be, you know, in any way positive. I look for success, but he can't do it in a reckless manner. He's got to have a bit more control than he normally shows, and I haven't really seen much control. Not a tight defence as he moves forward here.
He loves what he calls a tear-up, doesn't he? The old soldier. 4 years, 256 days in the Royal Fusiliers, and he counted every one of them.
But at least he's not wasting punches in the first round. One of Ben's problems, he runs out of steam because he wastes punches in the first few rounds, puts too much power into punches that are missing. So at least, although he's not tight, he's controlling his punch rate a little bit in the first round.
I tell you what, there's been some good shots landed in this opening round as we come up to the close there. Slightly low, not too much of a moan there from Eubank. And there it is, giving it the old pose again, the angle back to the corner, going back to the cares of the office, this fellow. He really is an incredible guy. But he may not even bother to go and sit down there, and trainer Ronnie Davis keeps a straight face. As I said, he's the G's of the outfit. He calls him the pit bull terrier. There's the corner. And Maximo Perez is actually the New York cab driver. There he is, from the Dominican Republic, who first trained Eubank, and he had 5 fights in Atlantic City, just in the little prelims. Nigel Benn there, the Jimmy Tibbs, who's worked against Eubank now. This is the 5th time. The 5th time now. He's going to try and get a win. He still hasn't beaten him.
Second down.
Bit of a calm confidence going on, Jim, in both corners, really, I thought there. Round 2.
Yeah, well, a fairly quiet opening round, but you can see the sharpness in Eubank's moves. He has total concentration, everything tight, and then fully concentrated. Full concentration.
He's admitted in the past that his early road work has not been that good, but he's really fired himself up and worked himself very hard on the road for this one. Ben, of course, a very diligent trainer anyway.
See, Ben always has trouble against awkward, cagey opponents, and Eubank is certainly that. Ben's not getting his punches off quick enough, Reg. He's moving forward, bobbing and weaving, but not getting the punches off.
Amazing part with Eubank, really. He's only had 1 knockout or stoppage since he last fought Ben. That's amazing. That was John Jarvis, the American. South African, Sugar Boy Malinga, Bon Essett, Tony Thornton, the postman, Juan Carlos Jimenez all went, of course, and Lindell Holmes.
Eubank's had a lot of poor performances, Reg, but you always get the feeling he can do better if he decides to do better. He just seems to do enough. I think Ben will have him fired up.
Oh dear, those little rabbit punches will have to be stopped. I think Eubank wants to wipe away the thought of that kind of dreary draw that he got the Irishman Ray Close in Scotland last time up.
Ben's getting them off a bit quicker now.
Yeah, and the Manchester crowd are enjoying that too. What a turnout it is. All the celebrities, ex-champions, current champions. The newspaper literati, of course.
Yeah, Ben's doing better in the second round here.
Minute to go. It's the sharpest we've seen Eubank now, probably since he last fought this fellow, eh?
Yeah, well, as I say, I think the Ben fight made him realise just how tough this business was, so there's no way he's not got himself properly prepared for this.
He does absorb a punch so well, Jim Eubank, doesn't he? It's true he's been down, although the last time I agree with him, I thought it was a bit of a slip on water on the canvas. Has kind of followed the punch. He tripped over a left hook as well.
See, Eubank's never comfortable leading off attacks. He likes to pull a man forward onto him and hit him with counters.
Round 3.
So round 3, and I can tell you it's pretty chilly here now in Manchester. These fellas have warmed up well. They got off to a pretty bright start. Get the feeling, Jim, the bulk of the crowd are behind Ben when he throws bombs like this.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people, I mean, I quite enjoy the arrogance that Eubank brings into the ring. I think it's all part of the showmanship, but some people don't like it, so they want to see him maybe knock down a peg or two. But a good right-hand lead from Eubank. See, Ben has to pay more attention to the defence. If you look up now, he gets clipped. Instead of covering up, he goes on the attack.
Yeah, you know, he likes all the blasting stuff. He likes living on the edge all the time, doesn't he, Ben? That little bit of danger. I mean, he's done it the hard way. He's the only Briton that's gone abroad like that and won 2 world championships, Jim, in America. Doug DeWitt, Ron Barkley.
Yeah, well, Hunnigan did it as well, I suppose, but not quite as intense as their first battle yet, but with every round that passes, it's heating up more. Ben, a bit more positive now, trying to move forward with the punches. So that's a dangerous looking right hand Eubank's throwing.
You don't have that cauldron heat, of course, in an indoor arena, Jim. I wonder, you fought in the open air. Does it make that much difference?
Yeah, it does actually, especially in October. I mean, it's not so bad in the summer months, a little pleasant breeze. But in the month of October, it can feel fairly cold up there in between rounds.
Oh, there's a low punch. Quite rightly. I don't know whether he's going to take a point away. It hasn't signified that, Larry O'Connell, no. Well, not too many of them. That could interfere with the family allowance.
Yeah, Ben's been caught low as well now. They're both been warned.
Well, that's fair. Quite right. I know they've got their foul-proof protectors, but the damage can be done. You can get some pain with that, Jim, can't you?
We're not really seeing good clean punches landed, a little bit scuffed. I think they're both paying each other an awful lot of respect. Ben's beginning to take some chances, but Eubank been very, very careful.
Right from the bleachers, as they say on the stage, the stands here at the back of this Old Trafford ground, it's cheering everything. And we're out for round 4. WBC, WBO versions of the 12 stone or 168 pounds championship of the world. And well, as you've lived in a cave the last few years, Eubank in the yellow trunks and Ben in white. Oh yes, another low punch there. I think he might take a point away there. Second warning, he says. No, he's been a bit lenient there, Larry O'Connell.
Maybe the fact that they both have a warning is making Cotton a little bit more lenient, but another one and he'll take a point.
Two American referees, judges. Carol Castellano, first woman actually to judge a world championship in Britain, with Lloyd Hannigan in the second fight with Jorge Vaca. Chuck Hassett, Manheim, California, and the old veteran from England, Harry Gibbs. Referee Larry O'Connell wouldn't score if it went the 12 rounds. Oh, good right hand punch there, Jim, right above us here. He's hurt Eubank. He looks as though Eubank actually had the nerve to call him on there.
I don't think it was hurt, Reg. There wasn't a change in his eyes. He stumbled after the punch. It was a good shot, but he was actually waving Ben on.
Yeah, he's been a bit cheeky there, wasn't he?
Yeah, but a good right hand punch it was.
That would have knocked his monocle out, Jim, I'll tell you that.
So this is where Ben must keep himself under control and get the punches flowing. You see, he's marching forward, but he's taking too long to get the punches off.
No question, it's the best we've seen, Eubank. Do you agree?
Yeah, the sharpish. I thought he missed quite a bit in the previous round, but you can see his thinking and his movements are sharp. But Ben's getting through with the shot. It's the right hand lead again landing. Ben just seems a little bit ragged to me, and as the pace slows down, he's going to pay for that, because that's when Eubank will begin to catch him cleanly. So this is really ragged stuff from Ben. Not a great deal of control.
Yeah, you remember, Jim, he said he didn't prepare properly last time and was overweight the day before the fight, and I think he's in the best shape he could possibly be, and maybe he won't have those stamina doubts that he had last time.
I don't think it's so much stamina doubts, Reg. He blows himself out. He does too much work in the first 6 rounds of a fight. He doesn't think about a campaign as a 12-rounder. He trains hard enough, but you have to pace yourself, and he's certainly pacing himself better, and he's not wasting so many punches.
Ben definitely fancies Lupton.
Yeah, it's really picking up now, Reg, but he's still very open, taking a lot of chances.
Well, now that's livening it up a bit now, isn't it? And, well, he's still getting the slow walk back to the corner there, Eubank, as only he can. And only 60 seconds now for these fellas to tell him what it's all about. Ronnie Davis on the outside of the ropes. Jim, the overhaul, look at that again now.
Well, that was a nice shot.
Punch.
Yep, see his legs, they're not stumbling, Reg. He's looking back, and this is what he called Ben on. He was never really badly shaken with that punch, but nevertheless, it was a good shot. Yeah, see, back he goes. He was actually pulling away from the punch as it landed.
And that's Maximo Pire. Let's have a look at Barry McGuigan, the former world featherweight champion. Unofficial scorecard there. Well, there, he's considered the bustling punches of Ben. Just puts him a point ahead, Jim.
Yeah, he's not far out. Eubank's looking sharp, moving sharp, but he's not getting his punches off too well. At least Ben being a little bit aggressive and throwing more punches.
Round 5. Oh, now it's really livening up now. It had to do that. Loves to tear up Nigel Benn now. That suits him. He wants to draw Eubank into swapping punches with him.
Well, it exploded into life there, Reg.
All that carefully nurtured hate is coming out now, isn't it?
See, Eubank never sustains an attack, Reg. In all the fights I've seen him, I wonder if he'll try and sustain this one. Ben reckless again, Reg. I mean, this is
calling him on. That's crazy.
This is crazy. When the fellow stopped him before, he knows he has the power to hurt him. Why is he doing this?
Now, nodding to the corner as well there. Certainly listening faithfully, I think, to cornerman Jimmy Tibbs' advice. And we're showing out to him as well, Ben. Minute gone in the 5th. It really is living up now to expectations, don't you think?
Yeah, this is what we expected, Reg, but Ben is the one doing all the silly things here. I mean, he knows himself he doesn't have the greatest chin in the world. He's been shaken badly a couple of times. He's been stopped a couple of times. You think he would keep it a bit more protected.
Midway then through the round. Oh, right above the third, I tell you. I had to draw in my breath there with that body punch that Eubank landed. But he's as strong as anything, actually, in the stomach pain.
See, a fair bit of miss. This has been a good round excitement-wise, but a lot of missing. We're not really getting the punches home cleanly.
Well, inevitably it has to slow down a bit. That's too many punches go too soon in that round there.
Well, I have to say, Reg, I don't think Michael Nunn will have seen anything to worry him so far. I mean, it's not really been classic boxing.
Well, same goes for James Toney, but he's not quite in the picture yet. The man who has insulted both of them.
You have to give it to Benny. It has total commitment. I mean, once he sets off in an attack, no matter what comes back his way, he sticks with it right to the last, whereas Eubank likes to back off and start again.
He really likes to walk in and have a bang up. It's an exciting fight of Nigel Benn. I wonder what Michael Nunn does think about that. Here's Gary Newman with him.
Michael, what do you think of the fight so far?
Well, you know, the fight's very exciting. You know, I mean, I'm getting excited sitting there ringside watching both of them go at it. I'm just looking forward to fighting the winner.
Do you think Nigel Benn is being rather reckless?
Well, no, not really. I mean, what he's doing, he's giving a lot of hard shots. He's taking some good shots too. I mean, the fight's pretty even right about now.
And what about Eubank? He seems to be pacing himself well.
No doubt about it. That's what Chris is trying to do. He's trying to let Nigel come out and exert himself there and try to pick up the later rounds and try to get him out of there late.
From what you've seen so far, who do you fancy to win this?
Well, believe it or not, I don't know who's going to win the fight. Like I said, I'm going to leave it up to those two individuals. I just want to fight the winner.
So there he is, getting a real seeing to there, isn't he? Under the Jimmy Tibbs, the corner man. In the opposite corner, the trainers are changing there each round. Maximo Perret comes in one, and then Ronnie Davis for the other. Round 6. So the replay, Jim, looks as though it's going to live up now to the first fight, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it's catching fire now, Reg. I mean, there's been some untidy punching, not too many good clean shots landed. But they're both paying each other so much respect, although Ben, the more reckless of the two. But the excitement level has really lifted, and now it's started living up to what we expected.
Eubank not being able to pinch those rests that he likes to do in a fight. He's being forced to trade.
Well, Eubank knows he's the stronger of the two.
Oh, some good punches there, Jim.
Ben has some mouth damage.
Yeah. Yep. Warning for a low punch there. So 1 point taken off. So that's a blow for Ben. It didn't seem that low, Jim, did it?
It's just the fact that he's been warned a couple of times already, Reg. So, I mean, what's the point in warning if you're not going to carry out your threats? And that's what's happened.
Early on, they were, well, not only south of the border, those punches.
Actually, he's just landed another punch low then.
Yeah.
Eubank actually complained about it. He's going to have to take a bit more care. Eubank starting now to put some step. A good right hand from Ben, but Eubank looking for some power on the right hand now. See, once the pace slows, Ben could find himself in trouble because his defence is very loose.
So there's a minute to go in the 6th round now. Oh, it's a good exchange, Jace. He's certainly sharpened up his boxing a lot, Eubank. He's said it to some press conferences this week, you're going to be surprised with my box. Oh, shoved him out of the ring there. Well, to give him all the time he wants to get back, I would think. He's got to get back unassisted, and he's managed that okay. Good job there's a wide apron to this ring, otherwise he'd have been on our laps there.
Behind it through with a left hook. I don't know if that one's troubled Eubank. No, he's taking it well again.
It's a bit spiteful, isn't it?
Well, this is now where Ben should fancy the job. When he has to go looking for opponents, he struggles a little bit. But Eubank's there all the time. So it's a type of fight that suits Ben. Good right hand again from Ben.
Wow. But Jimmy absorbed him so well, Eubank. I'm waiting for him to go over from those punches. He just waved his arms as if to say nothing's happened. Well, he could have fooled me. Looks as though Jimmy Tibbs is a bit pleased with his man there. And now then, let's have a look at this in replay now. See if we can see this low punch. Oh yes. South of the border, south of the equator almost. And this is the bit, Jim, where he pushes him through the rope stick. Well, as I said, right above us. Oh, there he comes. Well, you don't often see the towel club, and certainly on a cold night like this, I tell you, there's a little nip in the air, and with this fight mob around here, if there's a nip in the air, they drink it.
Bonus 10 seconds.
That's a bit of an old-fashioned there from Maximo Perret. I know a bit about that, because my father and uncle were quite well-known seconds. Round 7. Oh, well done to Eubank there. He pulled away. He noticed that he slipped. He could have easily taken advantage of that, Jim. Point up for Eubank.
Eubank's not delivering his punches very well, Reg. His timing seems slightly off. I mean, Ben's given plenty of chances. I know Ben's moving his head from side to side as he comes forward. But But Eubank's time and just that little bit off. See, and then he's getting caught. He's missing with his own leads and getting caught with the counters. I expected the opposite. Eubank to be the one with the sharp counter.
Minutes are gone. Minute gone in the 7th.
Untidy, Reg.
Yeah, they don't trust each other close in like that, do they? They're not infighting too good. Still trying to use the uppercut occasionally, are Eubank?
See, it's really obvious how poor Eubank is at coming forward. When he misses with one punch, Reg, he's got nothing else to do. He's got to start ducking towards the floor and pulling away. His attacking boxing is really very poor. He depends on an opponent leading off so as he can counter.
And the old scribe's called milling on the retreat in a way, that was.
But a couple of times Eubank's gone on the attack. If the first punch misses, then he has nowhere to go. He has to start ducking, diving and grabbing hold.
Minute to go.
So there he goes again, misses with a punch, nothing else to do, just covers up.
No, scrappy around this, isn't it? It ended in the 9th round, the first fight, remember?
Ben certainly paced his campaign a lot better this time. He hasn't wasted quite as many punches, taking chances but not throwing a lot of silly punches.
Referee managing to keep out of the picture as much as possible here.
And that was a slip.
No, that was a slip. So round 8 then. And remember, these fellas have both been in the melting pot a few times. Now, this last quarter of the fight could really decide the winner. How have you got it, Jim?
I've got Ben in front, Reg. I think Eubank has a lot to do here. He's not boxing well at all. Moving around sharply, looking good, pulling plenty of dangerous-looking faces, but his punches are not as sharp as they should be. And a lot of the action's been scrappy, but Ben has been just that little bit busier. You know, inside, he's been throwing little clips around the ears.
Early on, I thought Eubank was boxing exceptionally well, but as you say, he's got a bit ragged now.
He started well, he had a good first round, he looked very sharp, and I thought that's... But see, he never sustains good action, Eubank. He's never been able to do that. I don't know if it's the type of training he does. He looks wonderfully, superbly fit, but he never sustains any action, so you wonder about his stamina. See a lot of missing again. And when he misses with punches, he doesn't quite know what to do. He's like a novice at times. When he has to start running or dipping towards the floor. See, if Ben misses with a punch, he comes back with another one, but decent balance.
It's a pity now they're doing a bit of clutching now. It's spoiling what in patches has looked a very exciting fight.
The excitement's there, Reg, but I don't think it's quite the intense epic that their first battle was. Just, it is a little bit scrappy. We're not seeing enough good, solid, good quality punches landed.
Now it looks as though the moves have been choreographed a bit, doesn't it? 13th consecutive WBO fight list for Eubank.
Well, Eubank's produced a lot of poor performances, Reg. Something that's quite possible that now and again he just can't raise the gallop, and he has a lot to do tonight. His boxing is very low-key here. And Ben still has plenty of steam left.
Wondering now how the newspaper critics have got this around the ringside here. Sponsored, of course, by the Daily Mirror newspapers, this fight.
And you have to hand it to Ben, the natural fighter, Reg. When he's tagged, he just comes storming back again. Eubank sharpened up a little bit just in this little half minute here.
And there's the countdown for the 8th. So it's Frank Bruno, still a hero despite the loss to Lennox Lewis. What does he have to say here?
Who do you think's doing the better of the two fighters so far?
I think Ben at this moment, you know, in time, because I thought it would have been Ben earlier and Eubanks later on, but it seems like Eubanks is the one who's getting tired quick earlier, you know, Gary.
Eubank seems to be making hard work of it when he attacks.
He does it. He's more slippery if he just ducks and dives around the rings and jab him out. It's easy for me to say, but Ben is a warmonger. He'll hit you and he'll break in half of anything he hits you, but he's falling into Ben's hands here, you know?
Okay, Frank, let's get a view from Lennox Lewis.
I think Ben's winning the fight right now. He's doing the right things and he's making Eubanks miss. I think he's hitting him with some good shots and clear shots as well.
That's quite incredible.
And he's keeping the pressure on, which is very
Frank
important.
Bruno was talking there. Eubank was not in his corner, just standing
trying to
over,
do the
staring
boxing.
at us all at ringside, and particularly Bruno. Into the 9th round.
Well, I think it's now time for Ben to go back to the old Nigel Benn and just really give it what he has now. The last third of the fight, he can afford now to really raise the pace. It's been, by his standards, a good, cool, steady pace. He must have plenty left. Just keep that chin down and raise the pace. Eubank doesn't like working at a pace. And I think the time is now right for Ben to raise it.
Oh, this was a round of everything last time.
Ben actually ended up being kicked in the neck there.
Yeah, Larry O'Connell's quite amused by that. He's keeping the good humour going, that's something. Not for long, the armistice was short-lived.
Good left hook from Ben. I mean, a little bit sneaky stuff from Eubank. He put out the touch glove and threw a punch at the same time there. Don't expect that from him.
Plenty of the old needle here, just the same. Scrappy in parts. And how do you reckon a man like Eubank, Jim? We keep saying it. I mean, do you know, when he was sparring with Chris Bart, who's also a world champion for this fight, he actually broke off to answer his mobile phone, or in his case, got to be a poker phone.
He's been known for a little bit of holding and hitting there.
Yeah, that'll go against him with the judges.
See, Ben is still the one, when they get up close, he's throwing the little clips. They're not good, clean, solid punches, but they're scoring points. That's what keeping him in front, and Eubank holding again.
He's talking to Ben too, you notice that?
Well, not a good performance from Eubank so far, Reg. Another couple of rounds like this, and he's going to be looking for that knockout, because he's going to need it. Ben looking a little bit ragged as well now, Reg. See, no defence. See, Ben a couple of times in the past has just suddenly fallen to pieces.
There's not much in it, Kim, is there, really?
No, there's not. Ben actually looks a little bit as though one of the earlier punches is an effect on him. His legs look a little bit wobbly.
Well, certainly Ben seems to be satisfied with his night's work, and now Eubank being led back to his corner there. Not that he was in any trouble, but Ronnie Davis is a little bit tired of him standing there doing the posing bit. Let's have a look at the fall over here now.
Yeah, see, a lot of the action has been scrappy. See, he missed with the punch, down he went, and got the heel behind
him on the
the
heel there. Oh, that really is an unusual shot, isn't it? But the referee was quite amused by it all.
This is where he gave the hand raise and then threw the punch at the same time. Not really gentlemanly conduct, was it?
Quarters, 10 seconds.
Well, I think that's turns to orders. If he can throw a punch like the trainer, he'll be all right. So the Pitbull, as is nicknamed by Eubank, really means business for the 10th round. And would you put Ben in front?
Yeah, still have Ben in front, Reggie. I feel Eubank has a lot to do. He tried to sharpen up in the previous round there, but he's not boxing well. He's taking too long to get his punches off. Up close, he's not throwing any punches. I mean, it's not quite as good a battle as the previous one. A lot of scuffling and untidy stuff. But the event's made it obviously exciting.
Oh, there's great.
Oh, good left hook. That's a beauty. That was a good shot from Ben. That was the one.
Yeah, he's stumbling a bit there, Eubank. The legs have started to betray him a bit. Remember, he went down in the Michael Watson fight, where he was being beaten quite clearly. And then came back, of course, for that tragic end for Watson in the last round.
Well, we thought by now we would see the strength of Eubank beginning to take control, but that hasn't happened. It doesn't look any stronger than Ben does. And that was a lovely left hook.
Looks as though he's recovered okay, though, Eubank, but he pulls himself together pretty well.
Well, that was the beauty there. It was banging the chin. He took it well. As we've said before, an excellent chin. See, he's not landing cleanly. His own punches, Ben's managing to keep below them.
He really is full of fire, isn't he, Ben? He's actually enjoying the fight. Minute to go in the 10th. And once more now, 2 American judges, and one from England, Harry Gibbs. Oh dear, those rabbit punches are not to be tolerated for too long, I don't think, by the referee.
Ben's allowing Eubank to come forward in this round, but still Eubank not really been very effective.
Half a minute. I'm doubting now, Jim, whether Eubank has really ever got himself just in front. I think Ben has always just nipped in front there. There's not much in it, though. It's a bit seesaw.
I've got Ben in front, Reg. I always think he's been busier. And the time that counts, he has the last word in a lot of the exchanges. And I really feel Eubank not had the accuracy that you usually expect from him. I've got Ben in front.
Well, at least he's going back to the corner just those few seconds earlier, and a change of trainer working inside the ring.
Please stay in your seats and don't obstruct the view of the people behind you. Thank you.
He's showing out to Frank Bruno there and answering him too, Eubank. Let's have a look at this in replay, Jim.
See, he's dipped low, he's just looking for the shot, bang, right onto the chin. Look at them, you can see the way his head shook from that punch, but still he's looking back towards Ben. He's taking the punch perfectly well, but that was a scorcher.
Oh, towel flapping in. There it is, there he's got Ben in front. Barry McGuigan's unofficial card. First time he's actually done this on ITV.
Seconds out. Round 11.
11th round. 41,000 odd crowd here.
Well, Eubank, I think,
at the Old
complaining
Trafford.
about a low one again there. I don't know if it was low, Reggie. I was unsighted. I was right behind Ben.
Got to remember there was a point deducted from Ben. Could that make a difference? If it's that close, what do you think?
Well, I would still have him in front, Reg, even allowing for the point. But Eubank must realise, surely his corner have told him he has it all to do in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, he's just got to hang on to that slender lead, doesn't he?
But Ben doesn't want to let him come forward at this stage in the fight. He's strong, as we're saying, about close to 13 stone by now, no doubt. You don't want Eubank coming at you. But the snap seems to have gone out of Ben's work, Reg. He's feeling the pace.
Yeah, well, remember he was tagged by Oro Galvano right in the dying seconds of the 12th round when he fought him. That's, could it happen again here? You never know. It's all on the knife edge, really, isn't it?
Yeah, he wants to just force the punches out now, Ben. He's obviously feeling the pace. Keep that chin low. Nice little chopping right hand from Ben.
It's a pity that at times there's been a bit more hugging than hitting, really.
Yeah, it's been an untidy fight, Reg. It's not been quite as good as the previous encounter, but you find that quite a lot. But the atmosphere and just the event has made the whole thing. Oh, good left. Yeah, see, Ben's leaving that chin. Back it comes when he's hurt. He's always the same. That's what makes him so exciting.
Minute to go.
I think Eubank's done slightly better this round, Reg. Ben looks to me as though he's really feeling the pace.
Trained for a long time in Tenerife. Lots of chancy, football type chants here in the stadium, but here we go, here we go. He's always scuffling well, Ben, isn't he? That's the thing, Jim. They may not all be hurtful punches, but he keeps on throwing them in.
I think Eubank's nicking this one, Reg. Good right hand from Ben, but he's looking very tired.
Very lively running back to the corner then. Looking for that drug of applause. He loves it, doesn't he, Eubank? But I would hope that the cornermen are showing more concern now. Because, well, I wonder if it could all hinge on the last. I doubt it, Jim, but there you go. It's how the American judges see it, and of course Harry Gibbs.
Big round. Biggest round of your boxing career. Biggest round of your boxing career.
So they're just trying to get Ben fired up for a final round here.
You've got to win this. Come on, get out and stop him, mate. Keep on top of him. He's at it. He is more tired than you. Let him cleanly go.
Bonus 10 seconds. Seconds out. 12th and final round.
Well, biggest round of your career, Tick was saying there. And isn't it so? Even he can smell that, well, it could be close. And I'm wondering how you at home have got it.
Oh, Ben, a lovely right hand to start the round, then two more. Ben, a big round, Red, would just put the clincher on it, no problem for Ben. He had a lazy 11th round. Eubank slipping on the canvas there. Left hook. Eubank slipped on the canvas and Ben took full advantage of it. This is the round, Reg, we've been waiting for. This is what we expected.
Blowing hard, Ben, but he's still throwing more than his share of punches.
In a close fight, Reg, you don't want to allow the opponent to do all the leading off, and that's what Ben's doing here.
Yeah, not a particularly good round so far.
Well, I mean, he's landing the same amount of punches because Eubank's missing so much, but you don't want him to be looking the boss. They're both fairly exhausted here.
Well, it seems to be drawn decisions are all the vogue these days, isn't it? Whitaker, Chavez, Eubank close. I hope that they can find a winner here anyway.
See Ben again, he looked very lazy in the 11th round, and I don't think he's got an awful lot left, but here he fires back again. He's going to have to spring into life here.
Oh no, they're shouting at one another. Just look at that with a minute left. A little bit of abuse going on in there, I think. Ben's absolutely convinced him that he's won this.
I don't know if he thinks he's not enough in front race to coast. He should be thrown back here. And Eubank won the 11th on my card, and he's doing all the work in this one.
Eubank tried to kid around too with putting his hands up there as if to say to the judges, this is my fight, man. I mean, a couple of cocky characters here, aren't they?
There's a lot of untidy boxing all the way through, but this has been a good round.
It's always carried that little bit of drama and argument and debate, and maybe that's what the decision will do. There it is, all over. And now we've got that long wait now for the three judges' cards. The supervisor, Ray Clark of the British Board, and the Boxing Board of Control steward there is Tom Hendry, local MP and the Shadow Minister for Sport. Not that he's involved with the decision at all. But, watching now, then they're both being hoisted around the ring as we expect. And here's a man, it's his unbeaten record now. Finally been beaten. Don King, Barry Hearn, co-promoters. And I still think that Ben's just shaded it, don't you, Jim?
Yeah, I think he's nicked it, Reg, yeah, all the way through. Apart from the last couple of rounds, that fairly tightened things up there because he was very lazy in both the 11th and 12th rounds, allowed Eubank to do a lot of work. But up until then, I would have been in front. The point that he lost for the low blows could have a bearing on it, but I would still say he's got enough just to be maybe that one round in front.
Well, just leaning over Barry McGuigan there, he's got it a draw. And I was talking about, well, I hope they find a winner, but, well, he's sat on the fence right at the finish there, I think. I think it's close, Jim.
Yeah, it's close. It's close, and the two rounds obviously closed it up at the last two rounds because Eubank did a lot of work, a lot of missing.
If it went Eubank's way, it could actually be that low punch in the minute deducted.
Michael, who's won this fight?
Well, the way things look, I mean, it's real close. I mean,
come on, who's winning?
Well, you know, Nigel Benn, the last couple rounds, I think he kind of picked it up, but the fight's very close, and Michael Nunn just wants to fight the winner, you know. I mean, it was a good fight, it was a great fight. And,
you must know who's won this fight.
Well, no, not necessarily. I mean, you know, this is boxing, man. We got to wait and see what the judges and the referees. Well, go ahead.
I think the fans won, Gary. I think this has been a great.
Guys, give me a winner.
It's been a great fight here, man. And you're just waiting for the judge's decision because Michael Nunn is fighting. This has been a great fight. I told everybody that intangible would come
These guys don't know who's won. What do you think is going to happen?
Well, listen, I've got to tell you, I don't know. I've never seen such a tight fight. If I'm going to go for anything, I'm going to go for the draw. That's my honest opinion. That's that close. I can't divide these two. I really can't.
Well, all that talk, I suspect we're going to.
Okay, we're going to get a verdict.
Well, while we're waiting for those final scores now, let's have a look at this final stuff, Jim. They were actually cutting at the end of the round there. They've made it up at last, but not here.
It wasn't a convincing last round, but
this is where the chat was going. They were doing the commentating there, weren't they?
Yeah, a bit of snarling going on. Another untidy round, but Eubank did a lot of work there.
Could it possibly be a third time up with these? Well, I wonder if it is a draw or not. I'm getting the vibes that it may well be.
It must take so long, Reg. I know the score at the end of every round. I don't like when decisions take too long to be announced. Makes me feel nervous.
Here's the MC.
Ladies and
Well, I think he knows he's won it. He's been tipped up, I should have thought there, Ben.
we've all seen an outstanding 12 rounds of boxing. No matter who the winner is, they both deserve a round of applause. Outstanding effort, Chris Eubank and Nigel Benn. Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of boxing, here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Harry Gibbs, scores about 115, 113, Chris Eubank.
2-pointer for Eubank.
Carol Castellano scores about 114, 113, Nigel Benn.
One each. This looks like being a draw.
Chuck Hassett scores about 114 to 114, even a draw. The decision.
Yes, it's a draw. Well, we thought Ben just stole it, Jim, but we weren't a bit surprised by a drawn decision then. Would you believe? Is it going to be a third time up? He's not too pleased with that, Ben, at all.
Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, both of the boxers.
But I wouldn't go against Harry Gibbs' judgment, and very rarely have. But he gave it 2 rounds. That was the 1 point taken away from Ben there that he gave to Eubank to win the fight.
Well, a very, very close thing. Watching those rounds very closely, it was pretty tough to work out who had seized those rounds. Lennox Lewis alongside me. I think the two of us, Lennox, looking at it, we felt that Nigel might just feel a little bit aggrieved about that.
I think no boxer likes a draw, definitely, because they work so hard, sacrifice so much, and then all of a sudden they're waiting for their glory and it's not there. I thought the fight was very close. I thought it was very, very, very close. I would hate to be a judge.
It might. Nigel Benn will look back, and he'll look back at the video, won't he? And he'll see that there were a few low blows there, and he will see the point deducted, and he will view that as absolutely crucial.
Yeah, that may have been the key point in the whole fight, just that point being taken away, because I thought Nigel just had it by a tinsy bit, because he was getting off with some clean shots, but, you know, they both boxed tremendously.
And at the end there, of course, Chris Eubank staged a fair old rally, and the last 2 rounds were very, very important for him.
Chris Eubank's a very, very smart boxer. He's got a great style, and he used his brain in the ring definitely today.
I mean, that second time round, you know, there's a win for Eubank, and there's a draw. Can you see them doing it all again, doing it a third
Most
time?
Most definitely. Why not? Hey, it's a good fight. They're both good fighters. Why not?
Okay, we'll talk a little bit more with Lennox. I think we're going to pop down now to Gary Newbon at ringside.
Okay. Right, first of all, Chris, did you agree it was a draw?
It was close. I thought I would have nicked it on the boxing, the more boxing. He was punching hard. He was scoring with shots. He's not the man I thought. I thought I would knock him out. I thought his resilience would go, but you know, what a good fighter he is, and I'm glad to have got the draw. Now we can do it again. We can finally, set the record straight.
I have to say, if the referee didn't take away a point, Nigel Benn would be double champion now.
He hit me low about 3 times, 3-4 times. In the later rounds, he hit me with a low blow. Just after the referee took away a point, he hit me again. It's all to do with fair play. I mean, it's all in the game. It's a draw. We do it again. We earn the money, and hopefully Nigel can be reasonable and behave like a gentleman instead of hyping the fight. I mean, yeah, we had a brilliant crowd here tonight, a full house. I really enjoyed playing to this type of crowd, and I'm pleased basically to keep my unbeaten record, to keep my WBO World Championship, and I'm pleased that we'll probably get it on again in next summer or something.
Were you relieved to get a draw? They looked a bit desperate towards the end of you going flat out to stop him.
Oh yeah, I mean, it was a close fight. I knew it was close. Nigel wasn't playing. He was hitting hard. He was. I basically didn't box. I thought I would have boxed more, but I didn't. Such is life. Still a good performance from my half. Good performance from his half, and I haven't got any complaints with the draw. You know, it was a close fight. He hit me with some good shots. I hit him with some good shots, and you know, such is life.
Okay, Chris. Now, what's happened to Nigel Benn? He's just shot off. We're hoping to talk to him.
Nigel Benn's a little bit disgusted with the decision, but I've come here just to say what a great fight it was for Chris Eubanks and for Nigel Benn and for the British public. And I believe that they can get it on again. And I thought my man just nicked it, but there's no disgrace to Chris Eubanks.
No way.
No, but if you hadn't took that point away, as you said earlier on, well, what a great fight. What a great fight, and let's hope they can do it again.
Jimmy Tibbs, you're the trainer, of course. Did you think Nigel actually won? He's disgusted with the verdict.
I thought we just actually nicked it.
No way, come on, don't play
no,
that.
No,
Don't play that.
no,
He didn't win this fight, there's no way. If anything,
hang on, Chris, I asked you whether you thought it was a draw. I'm just asking Jimmy Tibbs whether Nigel thought he'd won.
I thought my man just nicked it, but I'm saying if we never took that point away, we would have got the verdict. But what a great fight. It's come out a good result at the end because they can get together. I'm sure the promoters will do that. And everyone will be happy.
And you're still unbeaten one way or another. Thank you very much, Chris and Jimmy.
Karen, love you to death, coming home.
Indeed, he will be straight down the motorway back to the family. Well, I mean, the inference there is very, very clear. We've had a fantastic night here, Lennox, and sometime next year, well, they might be doing it all again.
Yes, definitely. I was pleased to be here.
I must say, though, looking there at Chris talking, it was a very different sort of fellow to the guy we saw after the last fight.
Yeah, I think they know each other a bit better now, and Chris is just being Chris Eubanks. He's a great guy. He's got a great personality, and they both have great personalities, and they're both great guys.
Just finally from you, just sum up the week that we've had with yourself, with fighting Frank, and this fight here. It's been a fantastic week for boxing.
It has been. It's been a fantastic week for British boxing.
Indeed. Lennox, it's been a pleasure for us to have you with us tonight. Thanks for joining us, we appreciate it.
You're welcome, thanks for being here.
Okay, well, also on the bill here tonight, we had Crisanto España from Venezuela defending his title. España with a white stripe down his trunks, and he stopped Donovan Boucher, the Canadian, the challenger, in the 10th round, and Boucher had a pretty rough time. In fact, he was down 3 times. And next week, in fact, we go to Belfast to see Eamon Loughran. Eamon Loughran against Gert Bo Jakobsen, challenging for that WBO 10 stone 7 title, and that is ITV next Saturday night. Big dates before then, though. Republic of Ireland against Spain, the World Cup qualifier, Wednesday afternoon, 2:30 on ITV, and of course, after that, and it's only on this station, Holland against England. England's World Cup destiny will be decided there in Rotterdam. All right, it's been an amazing night here, really, and we have to really say good night to you all. I hope you've all enjoyed it.